Karen here with another cooked. Today I'm going to do something very simple. If you have any um, ripe fruit, more so like blueberries or strawberries, like I do, this will be a great recipe for you. You don't have to worry about canning it or anything else, so it's going to be really quick, really simple. I didn't post a cooked video last week because I decided to it would probably be better to do it every other week while I develop other little things. But yeah, so I'm excited about that, and I'm excited to share this recipe with you guys. It's really simple, so let's get into it. So today, what you will need at least, well, as many berries as you have, whether it's blueberries. This recipe will work for blueberries, strawberries, peaches, any ripe fruit that you have on hand. But right here I have approximately 2 pounds of strawberries. We bought a ton of strawberries, as you saw in one video from the farmer's market, and we can't eat them as fast. Well, we're eating them, obviously, but they're not eating them fast enough. So I decided to go ahead and make like, not necessarily a jam, but this is going to turn out to be like a strawberry jam that you can use, or a strawberry syrup that you can use over your pancakes, waffles, pound cakes, or something like that. But it's going to preserve it for a little bit. So you'll need at least a pound, and that way you are able to half this whole recipe. But if you have approximately 2 pounds of some ripe fruit, this will work for you. You can even use some apples if you like. I have some recycled jars here. To look at the tomatoes right there. We sit our tomatoes from the garden there. I sit them on the cutting board when they're red, so that people will use those first, and then the green ones we stick by the bananas, because the bananas will ripen and then subsequently ripen those as well. Just a little tip. So we have at least 3 jars here. They've already been washed and cleaned and dried out and ready. I have a lemon for my acid, and then I have a cup of sugar, and then I have at least a tablespoon of cornstarch for the thickening agent. Today I'm going to use my handy dandy Le Creuset sauce pot. It's the smaller size of the two, and it'll work really well. Whoops. It'll work really well. It's deep enough, and I think this is going to cook down really well and fit right in here. So let's get into it. So first things first, my mom will probably want to strangle me, but I get this recipe from her. She used to do it when we were kids. So, but she didn't do it like I did it, like I'm going to do it. So what I do I avoid this step in the pot, I put the sugar into the strawberries. And that way I don't have to fight with getting the sugar in and mixing it really well inside the pot. But my mom, of course, she thinks it's better if you put it in the pot. But this is the easier way, and then you're just going to mix all of this together to make sure all the strawberries or whatever fruit you have are coated. You don't have to add a cup of sugar if you don't want to. Yeah, but my mom always added a cup of sugar, so I'm going to stick with it, because in the words of Tabitha, that's my business. But anyway, so from here, I think this is well mixed up. And the sugar also helps to break it down. As you can see, you can start to see where it's making it's mixing with the strawberries juices. So yeah. So I'm the one who added the acid, which is the lemon. So as you can see, I have my lemons all squeezed to release the juices from the inside. And I'm going to use my handy dandy juicer, or whatever this thing is. You know what this is. I can't even remember the name. My goodness. So I'm going to use this, and I'm going to use this whole lemon. And it will actually help the strawberries, help them stop from oxidizing so quickly. Also, it adds great flavor. All right. Here's the first half of the lemon. I'm going to add the other half. And here's the second lemon. Second half of the lemon, actually. These strawberry quote-unquote preserves are so great. Like, you can add it to your oatmeal in the morning. You can add it as a topping on ice cream, whatever it is. But it at least stops. It encourages you to just use all of your fruit and not waste anything, and everybody enjoys it, you know. And yeah, make it all summer long. Whatever berries are in, with whatever berries. I prefer berries or peaches. Yeah. And I have the 3 jars here because I know that my husband is probably going to eat a whole jar by himself. You know, everybody else will be upset with him, but yeah. Needless to say, he really likes it. So I'm just going to make sure this is all mixed up here. And I'm going, look at all the juice down there. Amazing. And the cornstarch is just going to give it some thickener. I have at least a tablespoon of cornstarch, but if you are going to want it to be thicker, you can add a little bit more. But I'm going to cook, now I'm going to transfer this over to the pot, to the saucepan, and we're going to let it cook down a little bit. And yeah, I think 3 jars will be enough today. Okay, so another thing you want to do is you want to add at least 2 tablespoons of water to your cornstarch. Madison is going to do that for us right now. And what you're going to do is you're going to create like a slurry with it before you add this to your strawberry preserves so that it doesn't clump up. You can get all the little lumps and clumps out before pouring it into your strawberry preserves. Okay, Madison, you're getting carried away then.
You gotta make sure all the lumps are gone.
Okay, guys, so now we have this all in the pot. I have not added the cornstarch yet. I'm going to allow this to cook on medium heat for at least 15 to 30 minutes because I want it to cook down. So I will come back when it has cooked down and I'm ready to add the cornstarch. Okay, guys, as you can see, it's really boiling now. So now you want to add the cornstarch mixture so that it will start to cook down instead of boiling out of your pot. Madison's going to add the slurry for me.
Now it's going to get thick.
Now it's going to thicken up.
I can already feel it. I'm not sure if you can see. And then you're going to let it boil for about 15 minutes so it gets real thick.
And you want to stir it too because it'll start sticking to the pan.
See how it's getting glossy?
Isn't that pretty? It smells so good. Kind of wish there was smeller vision. Now it's going to cook down, but you have to stir it because otherwise it will get really sticky and stick to your pan. And
no,
you don't want that.
It'll boil out.
It'll get sticky too. It'll stick to everything. It'll be all over the place. And if you do have it boil out, all you have to do, if you have some vinegar on hand with some baking soda, put baking soda on top of the stickiness, put the vinegar on top, and then everything will just wipe away. It's a little science experiment for you. So we're going to let this cook down, and we'll come back after about 15 minutes. We added at least 2 teaspoons more.
You can see how thick it is.
And it is super thick at this point.
No, not 2 teaspoons, 2 tablespoons.
We did not add 2 more tablespoons.
I did it, Mama. I did it.
We added at least 1 more tablespoon.
Girl.
And as you can see, this is really thick. And as you can also see, Madison's taking over my recipe. Okay. So, see all the bubbles? Now it's time to let it sit and rest. So we're going to let this thicken up. At least give it 5 minutes to thicken up. So you want to turn it off.
30.
No. You're going to let it rest for 5 minutes. Turn off your eye. Let it rest for 5 minutes and it will thicken up. You can continue to stir it if you like, but it's going to continue to thicken, and we'll show you the final product. Oh, yeah, you're just going to let it rest in your pot, and but we will show you the final product. So guys, this is the final product. So I'll just go to the bigger jar. So this is what it looks like when it's done. Like I said before, I added another tablespoon to get it to this thickness. So overall, I used 2 tablespoons of cornstarch to get it to this thickness. And during the summer, I don't buy jam or anything like that because I just make it because it's really simple. And believe it or not, see, it's really hot. What's going to happen is, as this is really hot, as it cools off, it's going to get thicker. So that's why I got mine into the jar, even though it was burning my hand. I put it in the jar anyway, because I wanted to rest in the jar so that it can get really, really thick. And once the jar cools off, I'll put it in the refrigerator, and it'll be close consistency to jam. That's a pretty simple recipe, not many ingredients, and most ingredients everybody has in their kitchen. I use these recycled jars. I think this is a peanut butter jar. I think this is hot peppers or something like that. And I don't remember what this jar is for. But yeah, guys, I hope you found this video helpful, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.